Okay, on the Rheem RGDG, this one's about, well, what kind of problems with this furnace? Well, this was an 80%er, fairly simple, just had the one pressure switch. It had the IFC. The IFC didn't give a lot of trouble. There were some replacements, but not a lot. Fan motors, pretty much normal stuff, with a couple of exceptions perhaps. If it had this auxiliary flame rod, that helped a lot. The ones that originally came out with just the hot surface igniter as a flame sensor, they gave lots of troubles. Lots of things didn't work well on those. But once this thing was put in, I didn't see a lot of problems with it. Here's one of the most common problems that I'm going to show you other than the flame rod in this thing. These things have a plastic inducer housing. Virtually all the new furnaces, the high efficiencies, also have a plastic inducer housing. However, this thing had pretty high vent temperature. The housing's cracked. Now, the manufacturer will tell you the reason the housing cracked. Well, let's take a look at this crack in this housing. Okay, here's the crack right here. And very common in these things. And the manufacturer is going to tell you the reason that cracked, and they may be right, is this. Now here we have a close-up of the top of this. The crack is cracked right through where the screw was run through there. Now the manufacturer told you when you put screws in this thing to screw the vent pipe to this, you had to pre-drill the holes. I'm sure every installer did that. Not. They used zip screws in them, which made it even worse. So they usually cracked right there. That was a problem. And once it's cracked, it probably doesn't cause a problem. However, there is probably a little bit of positive pressure at this point, down in the inducer. So you could be getting a little bit of gases in the room. But remember, these 80%ers, this was a helper fan. This was not a positive vent. There was no positive pressure in the vent. Okay, one other thing that happened to them related to the inducer was the inducer bearings failed. That's actually what happened on this one. That's how I got it. It was replaced because the inducer bearings had failed. I lubed them up and got them to work. Some of you guys have noted that the inducer was going bad on this thing because it was so noisy. And that's correct. It is. Now, if you replace this inducer, they're not going to give you another plastic one. So they've kind of admitted their problem on it. The ones I've seen have all been cast aluminum. So that's kind of an issue for this thing. Other than that, I haven't had a lot of heat exchanger problems with them or anything like that. They've actually been a pretty good furnace. Okay, that's it on this Rheem Ruud furnace.